WCBI election coverage starts now.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Scott Martin. It's primary election day in Mississippi and Alabama, and it's been a tale of two states as far as voter turnout is concerned. Both states have U.S. House races. Mississippi has a Senate race as well. Alabama also has county and state races on the ballot, and that has increased interest on the eastern side of the state line. We begin in Mississippi. Of course, all four House seats are on the ballot, but it's the 3rd congressional district that's getting the most interest since Greg Harper, you may remember, announced he would not be running for re-election. Well, that seat is wide open, and there's no shortage of candidates, including 6 Republicans, and it looks like Michael Guest is leading the vote, but does not quite have the 50% plus one to take the race entirely. Now, you also cannot count out the Democrats in this race, though. District 3 is the 2nd most Democratic-leaning district here in the state of Mississippi, and 2 candidates came forward, and Michael Ted Evans has been declared the winner there. In the 1st district, Representative Trent Kelly will face off against Randy Mack Watkins. Well, 6 Mississippi Democrats were looking to take the Senate seat currently held by Roger Wicker, including legislative leaders David Beria and Omeria Scott. Political newcomer and Blue Dog Democrat Howard Sherman makes a strong showing, and it looks like a possible runoff between Beria and Sherman will take place later this year. Well, the winner of that race will face the incumbent Senator Roger Wicker, who had little trouble fighting off a party challenge by businessman Richard Boyington. Well, Alabama Democrats, they head to the polls to pick a challenger in the District 4 U.S. House of Representatives race there in the state of Alabama. District 4 covers much of northwest Alabama, including counties here, Lamar and Fayette counties. It looks like Lee Ahmed will face off against Robert Adderholt. Representative Robert Adderholt, he's held the seat for the past 20 years. He wins handily against Anthony Blackman in tonight's Republican primary. Sitting Alabama Governor Kay Ivey is faring well in this primary. Right now it's looking like she will face Democrat Walt Maddox come this November. And Maddox serves as the mayor of Tuscaloosa, and this is his 3rd term in that race. The Democratic field was a crowded one, including Sue Bell Cobb, the district judge, and Christopher Countryman, who's worked with the Civil Air Patrol. Well, that's the Democrat. Look at the Democratic numbers there in the Alabama governor's race. For the Walt Maddox, looks like he will take that race for the Democrats and face current sitting Governor Kay Ivey. Well, if you don't live in Alabama, you may be surprised to know that the state doesn't currently have lieutenant governor, but 3 Republicans are vying for that seat left open when Governor Kay Ivey assumed the governorship, and it looks like, let's see here, Twinkle Cavanaugh, we might be having a runoff between Twinkle Cavanaugh and Will Ainsworth coming up later this year. The winner of that race will face Democrat Will Boyd in the general election coming up in November. Look at other races that we're following here in the state of Alabama is the Attorney General race. Republican Tess Bedsole, Troy King, Steve Marshall, that is, and Alice Martin. It looks like that Steve Marshall winning the Alabama primary there for Attorney General. And in the Democratic side, Chris Christie and Joseph Seigelman. Looks like Joseph Seigelman winning the Democratic nomination there for Alabama's Attorney General in the primary for the Attorney General race there in Alabama. Well, a statewide office could be West Alabama's loss. District Attorney Chris McCool, who serves as Fayette, I think I might have jumped ahead here, guys, sorry about that, who serves Fayette, Lamar, and Pickens counties, is making a run for the State Court of Criminal Appeals, and he leads Rich Anderson by a fair margin. Again, that is for the Alabama Criminal Appeals. Well, the county races are also on the ballot in Alabama. A couple of those have been drawing a lot of interest in Lamar County. And for the latest, I think we might have Jason Hibbs reporting live from us in Lamar County.
Good evening, Scott. Let's get right to the numbers. These are the unofficial totals for Lamar County Sheriff incumbent Hal Allred beats Brandon Stevens. Allred coming in with 2,563 votes, winning that by 67% 50% of the votes tonight. Now on to the probate judge. This is a race a lot of people were paying attention to because this person will replace someone who recently retired, someone who'd been in that office for nearly 20 years. Sharon Nethery and Terry Roberts will face each other in a runoff in July 17th. Nethery coming in with 1,119 votes, Roberts with 1,375, beating Crosby and White. Now on to Lamar County Coroner. Alan Chandler gets 2,873 votes. That's 77% of the ballots cast for Chandler, beating out Mary Holman. And Lamar County Commission, District 1, Johnny Allen versus Mike Roney. Allen gets 585 votes, Roney gets 485, and then finally, District 3, Lamar County Commission, Brian Graves, 187 votes cast for him. David Gunnels handily wins this one, 720 votes with 79% of the ballots cast for him. And get this, guys, it's looking like more than 50% of the registered voters came out and voted in this county tonight. People are really impressed with the turnout here tonight. For now, I'm live in Vernon. Jason Hibbs, WCBI News.
All right, thank you very much, Jason. Well, Alabama seems to be, they have a lot of races going on. Here's some more that we're following. The Secretary of State race. On the Democrat side, we've got Lula Albert and Heather Milam. Heather Milam there taking the Democratic side for the Secretary of State. Also on the Republican side, Michael Johnson and John Merrill. Looks like John Merrill taking the Republican spot there in this primary election. Also, Alabama's state treasurer. 3 candidates are vying for the treasurer's job there. John McMillan with the lead there against Stephen Evans and David Black there for secretary or for treasurer. Auditor on the Republican side, Stan Cook, Elliot Limsky, Jim Ziegler there taking the lead for auditor there in the state of Alabama. Pickens County also has some pretty interesting races going on tonight. For more on those, we turn to WCBI's Quentin Smith. He's been following that action there in Pickens County. Hey, Quentin.
Yes, Scott, voter turnout was rather high here in Pickens County. In fact, over 5,000 ballots were cast for today's primary elections. Now, one of the highest anticipated races today was the knot with 1,556 votes. Also, for the Pickens County probate judge, David Pate came out on top with 1,472 votes. In the Pickens County Commission District 1 race, it was Bobby Bain who came out on top with 451 votes. In the Pickens County Commission District 2 race, it was Bobby Ingram with the nod with 588 votes. In the Pickens County Board of Education District 2 race, it was Frankie Spencer who came away with 648 votes. And in the Pickens County Board of Education District 3, it was Oscar Wiggins who came out on top with 556 votes. So again, high voter turnout here in Pickens County. And now Tony Jones, he will now have to face current Sheriff David Afton in the November. Will officially take office coming up in January. Well, now reporting live in Pickens County, Alabama, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
All right, thank you very much, Quentin. Well, Alabama Senate District 21, it covers parts of Tuscaloosa and Pickens counties, and it looks like longtime incumbent Gerald Allen will face Democrat Rick Burnham. Also, State House 16, Mike Simpson and Kyle South. Kyle South taking that lead there in the Republican State House. Again, that's for District 16. And finally, District 17, it's looking like David Hall will take District 17, or winner of that race there against Tracy Estes and Phil Surgraves. Of course, for the latest results, we'll have all these posted on our website over at WCBI.com.